What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone, where we are going to talk about the Calafiori deal not being dead in the water, basically. A lot of people want to talk about because there was a weird... Actually, there has been some weird reporting for Calafiori the last couple of days from he's not fit enough and people are not willing to pay that money to a very strange Alfredo Pedula story, which is... I don't know, I read it 3 times before I actually consumed what was in the article, but that's not everything. There is a weird and big update on Soulé. Retigi is back in the mixture. Finally, an update on Toribo and a new story on McKennie that is just actually funny, where you just need to laugh, otherwise you will cry. But before we do that, as always, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's talk about Calafiori. It's been a while. Okay, so Calafiori, assuming like he was one of the main targets, we all thought, and we all thought at one point he's gonna join, especially before the Euros, it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of when, basically. Well, that completely backfired because it was not gonna happen, and I think it's still not gonna happen. But I will keep that for a sec. And it was like, yeah, he's going Arsenal. It's close. Next 24 hours, it's getting done, and it's been like a good week now, or 2 weeks, excuse me, and nothing really has been done. And I think Arsenal fans are a bit baffled, and I think even the media right now. Now, Alfredo Pedula put out a story that is just very confusing. So I will read out the story first. He's saying that Bologna wished to close the deal at 50 plus 3. Arsenal's latest offer was 47 plus 3 million euro. Joe Saputo always vetoed it, Calafiori to Juve and wants him to go to Arsenal. Saputo has green light or approved contact with Daniele Rugani without the club talking with Juventus, obviously. He also likes Milik. Bologna is waiting for another 48 hours to close that with Arsenal. Now, when I read that first sentence, I was like, the deal is not being done for 3 million euros. That's what it is, basically. So Bologna are risking a lot of money, 25 million euros, because they need to split that with Basel for 3 million euros, and Arsenal is risking that deal for 3 million euros. Like, something is not really adding up. It's one, the transfer fees are completely mixed up, and this is BS, but Alfredo Pedula has been good, so I'm like, okay. 2, Arsenal has done that in the past with Suarez, and it backfired. Or 3, it was actually never close. And it was just, yeah, they talked with Arsenal, and Bologna put that out there and whatever to just maybe draw other teams into the conversation, and that really backfired. And like I said a couple of weeks ago, Arsenal are sitting there being like, you don't want to sell to Juve. That means we are the only team in for Calafiori. That means we are not paying that money. We can set it lower, and you guys need to figure it out. Or are you just going to keep Calafiori and leave that money completely on the table, basically, after he agreed with a move? So I don't know what it is, but it is getting weird. Yes, they like Daniele Rugani. Yes, they like Milik. And I saw people saying, don't sell to Bologna, screw them. We cannot be those people. Like, it's Bologna. We shouldn't be caring about Bologna. If they don't want to sell to us, if they want 100 million for Calafiori, it's their own right. We're not here. We shouldn't be paying that. That's Giuntoli's job. But if they want Milik and Rugani, and those are the players you want to get rid of, you sell. You just sell. My issue is with buying in Serie. Just forget about that for now, because that's how Klopp operates. They'd rather give those players away to Europe or outside of Italy than sell to Juve. Fine. You sell them your quote-unquote that would, basically. But move away from keep buying players in the Italian league. We funded a lot of clubs, especially under Beppe Marotta's tenure. We funded a lot of clubs. We probably funded Udinese Stadium at the time. You need to stop doing that. Stop doing that. There are players across Europe who are as good enough or better, and I'm talking in general. So if they want Milik and Rugani, let them pay. Let them make that deal happen, because you want to get rid of those players. You cannot say, oh, you didn't want to sign with Calafiori. Don't be that guy. You're Juve. They are Bologna. You're a top team. They should be a mid-table team, and they probably will be, below, around mid-table again next season. They will probably finish 8 or something, 9, 8. I'll be stunned. And if they do so, massive credit if they figure a way out to actually top what they did last season or be up there again and be like Atalanta. Massive credit. But if they want to sign our players, do that. Do I think Calafiori is back on? No, I don't think. We're actually moving really for Todibo, and I'll talk about it in a second. That's done. They're not selling to us. You'll probably end up at Arsenal, but right now we shouldn't be really focusing on that. I know everybody's dreaming, and it's fun to talk about, I guess. But right now, the mind of the club is set. It's Todibo. It's Todibo, and I will talk about that in a sec. And it's not Calafiori. No matter what's happening, the Arsenal story. This is crazy. Another 48 hours for 3 million. That's the difference, and you're not gonna blow it off in 48 hours. That's just not gonna happen for both sides. So, for now, whatever, the Rugani and the Milik thing have nothing to do with that. If they want to sign, if they want to sign them, good for us. You sell. That's that. Now Soulé, another weird story. Leicester offered 30 million plus. Roma offered 25 included. Juve said no, thank you. And actually, Juve said, Leicester, we can talk and we can reach an agreement very soon. The problem is, Soulé told the club, I want to join Roma. Probably Giuntoli told them, that's fine. Tell Roma to pay up because we have that offer. We want that money. And we have every right to demand that money. I don't care if he has an agreement with Roma. We want that amount of money. You're bringing us that money or you're not going. Giuntoli, again, has no relationship with Soulé. He didn't play for us last season. He just came in and he's like, I don't really know you. Like, I'm not going to hand out discounts just because you have an agreement. We didn't get those. And again, it's up to the club who's selling to set the price. You know, if a player played 10 years for the club, you can say, you know what, I will close an eye and I will drop a few millions and we can make this deal happen. But he doesn't have that relationship with Soulé. And after the season he had, the club has every right to demand that money. Still has a long-term contract. So we're in this position and he should be holding that position. Now, Di Marzio added that next week, Roma could up the bid to 30, bonuses included, and that potentially it could get closer. I think the club wants 30 guaranteed plus a couple of bonuses. So if Roma are offering 30 included bonuses, it potentially could get close if they, figure it out and they add a couple of bonuses here and there to get, to satisfy Giuntoli. It could happen. I don't think the club has an issue with selling to Roma. It's more so the price. It's you have a higher bidder and the club's like, that's what we want. They're paying that. You come up to pay that. Otherwise, you're not leaving. You're not leaving to Roma, So it's going to be interesting. It is a bit confusing news with Soulé. He's on his way out, and I think that's a deal that will kind of be wrapped up relatively soon, Another weird story is Retegui. Because Di Marzio saying that he's being considered to be the backup to Vlahovic if Milik leaves. Now, for me, financially, I don't really get it. They paid almost 50 million euros for him. They probably want to get 20, 25 million euros. That means you're going to be including players. Isn't Nicolucci, maybe De Sciglio for some reason, Miretti on loan? I don't know what it is. Otherwise, you're not going to pay that amount of money for a backup. Now, on Retegui, I know a lot of people like him. I dislike him. I don't like him as a player. I never did. I probably never will. I just don't like watching Retegui play. I know he's a backup. I get it. But if we spend a lot of money, even if it's with value of other players included in the deal, it's still a lot of money. I'm like, no. He's the type of player I will probably never like. I dislike his playing style. I'm just not a fan of his whatsoever. Yes, he's high energy. He runs at things. But technically, he's not that good. He's just a player where I'm like, he should be playing for Genoa. That's who he is. And he will score quite a lot of goals for Genoa. And that's good, But we shouldn't be paying that amount of money for a backup. That's how I see it. I think the club is okay with keeping Milik at the end. If they cannot move out Milik, I don't think they will tell him, oh, you're going to train separately. I don't think that's the type of vibe with Milik. I don't think we will get there. But Retegui, it's going to cost you a lot of money. And I'm like, no, do not do that for a backup striker this summer. So that's that. But let me know in the comments because a lot of people actually do like Retegui. And I can see why. But for me, it's just an absolute no. It's a no. Now, the Todibo update, before we go to the McKennie funny news, is that we make contact with Nice, not directly, but via his agent, which is weird because we just talked with Nice for Thuram. And the club is aiming to pay lower than 40 million. And actually, they're aiming to pay an expensive transfer fee. Gazzetta dello Sport is saying between loan fee, between 7 and 10 million euros, with an obligation to buy at 21 million euros, 25 million euros. That's kind of the deal they're trying to do. They have an agreement with West Ham for 35, but the player's like, I want to join Juve. Again, same situation. He can have an agreement with us. He can say, I want to join Juve. But if Nice is saying West Ham is paying 35, you guys need to pay 35. It's fair, and we need to make it work if you really want Todibo. Now, are they going to open up for that type of deal? I don't know. I don't know. It would be good for the club to do that. A loan, 7, and then an obligation. You kind of spread that. You have room to wiggle room this transfer market, but it's all up to Nice if they want to accept that. But because probably West Ham will pay up front. No loans, no this. So it's gonna be interesting, but it's kind of clear that something is moving. I think the club knows they're selling a Soulé and a Huijsen or a Huijsen very soon, and that's why they're making contact with Todibo. Not gold miners for now. Padula said before the end of July they were trying to make an offer, which is makes sense, because if you're gonna make an offer the first week of August, Atalanta is probably gonna be it's gonna cost you more because we need to replace him. But the Todibo thing is moving. Now to wrap this one up, McKennie from Nico Shira saying that he would like to play for a Champions League team. And I was like, you could have played for a Champions League team in Aston Villa, but you said no. And then Nico Shira said, yeah, but he was asking 5 million euros a season. I'm like, then you're not going to play Champions League football. There's no team paying you 5 million euros. There's definitely no Champions League team paying you 5 million euros. So I have absolutely no idea what his angle is. Or the media is lying, or he completely lost it. That's just what I think, because he's not worth 5 million euros a season, not even close, and he can think that's good. Believe in yourself, but no club is going to pay that. The club that's going to pay that are crazy. He could have played Champions League football. So the money, if this is true, that it's not about Champions League football, it's about money. And again, if that's your priority, that's your priority. And that's fine, by the way. That's fine. But you're not going to get that money. I would be absolutely stunned if he gets that money or the Champions League team. I really would. I would be shocked. So let's see how that will go. But the news is also that he's not going to be part of the UK of the squad, and actually not even in real training, because the club wants to move him out, and that's how it's moving. But yeah, that's it, people. In the comments, let me know. Do you still believe in the Calafiori deal? What do you think about Soulé? And also Retegi as a backup, yes or no? That's it from me. Speak to you guys tomorrow. Ciao.